Hey everyone, and welcome back to Spill the Tea with Damen B and Gigi.
Hey, how's it going?
Look at Grandma's
Okay,
hair. It's
can we
looking
look at the
amazing.
cutest curls ever? And
Oh,
then this is my hair. I did a little curl here, but this is all wig.
to blend in. To blend
Did
in with
you
the.
know, yeah, did you know that Dolly Parton wears a wig every single day and has for 50, 60 years? Every day of her life.
Honestly,
None of that blonde hair is hers. The
I'm not
boobs, all
surprised.
hers.
You know, it was so funny. Someone said the other day, they're like, what if her boobs were a breastplate? Like, what if they weren't real? So she had to put on a wig and a breastplate every day.
Well, she said she admitted that she wears a wig every day, and I get it. She goes, "You know how simple that is to just pick out your hair and put it on, then
Yeah,
sit there and do all," and it is. It's so easy
good
to
for
just
her.
throw your hair up and stick something on it.
Bam. The only
Yeah.
problem is if you get in a fist fight, people start pulling, but.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
you
how many
wanna
fist
avoid
fights are you
that.
gonna get in, you know?
I wouldn't get in any, but, there's the odd
Um,
girl that likes to mix it up.
you and Dolly are pretty behaved, pretty tamed.
Mhm. Mhm. I agree.
O okay, so I think we're talking about illness right now. We're talking about illness.
Oh, what fun.
I know. I just went I just went through some illness on Tuesday.
Yes, yes, I think that's why we chose this topic
Yeah.
because you were, suffering the man version of either food poisoning or a stomach flu,
And we say
right?
the man version because the man
Mhm.
version's always worse than the woman version. And the woman's or the women can't handle what the man experiences.
Okay, so
Correct?
us ladies no. The real definition of that is us ladies would probably make it through, we wouldn't tell anyone, we'd suffer through it quietly, take care of the 7 children, make
Yeah.
supper, do everything.
Very discreet,
Um,
very Diana
very
discreet, you know?
Yes, yes, and we would call or text with, um, messages stating that
You shut the fuck
we're actually going maybe to die, that we might die. And when in this horrible illness should one take themselves to the hospital?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell a story now.
Okay.
So Monday night, I got some banh mi, and it had Korean barbecue meat on it, which I never got before. And let me tell you, this Korean barbecue meat was not good. It was horrible. And the very next day, food poisoning. 5:30
Oof.
a.m. Woke up puking, shitting myself. It was the worst thing I've ever done. I have never shit myself and puked at the same time. Like, I'm sorry, podcast listeners, TMI, but thank God there's a bathtub right next to the toilet because it was a double whammy.
Brutal,
I've never
brutal.
experienced such pain in my life. My shoulders and like my upper neck, I was throwing up so much that I thought I was going to pass out because I felt like I was choking on my vomit because it wouldn't
Oh.
stop. And it this spasmed, like it all constricted and up here. Oh my god, it was the worst pain ever. It lasted the whole day. And I couldn't eat anything solid until like 8 p.m. at night when I or 9 p.m. when I ordered the groceries and I got saltine crackers and ginger ale. But for that whole day, it was just sipping on water, but then it would come up. Oh my god, it was the worst thing ever. Lost
So
13 pounds.
when when I was young, I have learned over the years, like from my work, I
Mhm.
learn a lot because I read a lot, a lot, a lot, and I've learned that most stomach flus are more than likely a mild form of food poisoning. So those, that say, "Oh, I had the flu, I had the flu." Probably you had food poisoning. It's not very often that you actually get like a stomach bug.
Mhm.
There's not very much of anything that can survive in our stomachs. And that's why you get food poisoning because our stomachs will expel it no matter how it goes
Yeah.
and how quickly, like it wants it out. So it goes both ways and it will go and go and go until it expels that all out of your system. So when I was young, if we had a stomach flu, we were not allowed to eat or drink for 24 hours.
Oh, wow. That was the
Mhm.
rule?
That was the law in our
Okay.
household.
Oh, that was
In our household.
yeah.
Because and the reason why was, just like you said, every time you drank something or ate something, you'd throw it back up.
Yeah.
So, the idea was we just wouldn't eat or drink for 24 hours, get it all out, and then start sipping a bit of water and a bit of whatever, and actually, you did a lot less throwing up that way.
Well, honestly, yeah, no, I can see why that was a rule in your household, because
Yeah.
all my sinks now have experienced throw up. The fruit flies that came out of the drains, the puke wasn't even in there for that long because I cleaned it up right
Mm,
away. The fruit
right.
flies in the drain or whatever, there's so many fruit flies in this building.
God.
They just go and like came up like it was a Chinese buffet. Like, they ugh.
Oh.
Now I gotta go get fruit fly traps. It was disgusting. But yeah,
That's
that was the most like sick I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, and when you get sick like that, I'm just kidding about the man flu.
Right.
Sort of, not really, but a little bit. I I'm just kidding because um being ill and being on your own is really kind of, it's almost depressing, right?
Oh.
Because you're sad, you don't know what to do, and then you have no one there at your place to
Yeah.
take care of you, and all you want is someone to just come in and go, "It's gonna be okay. You're
Yeah.
gonna be fine. Just, here's some crackers, here's a little soup.
Right?
Lay down, don't worry about it." But so I understand the text and everything, and I hope we made you feel a little bit better.
I called my mom too, and I said, "Mom, your little
Mommy,
Bambino is sick."
mommy,
Mommy.
please help me.
And I always
Well,
refer to myself as, like, her little Bambino because that's what she calls
oh,
me. So I said, "Your little Bambino would like you to come bring him some saltine crackers and ginger ale. Can you drive the 6 hours?" Like
to bring it down, she's like, no."
yeah, exactly. And then she felt bad. She called me like right
Aw,
after I received my groceries, and she goes, "I just wanted to check in to make sure you're still alive. I think I kind of downplayed how you were feeling earlier.
yeah,
Just want to
yeah,
kind of loop back."
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm telling you, for mothers, and fathers, but mainly
Mainly
mothers,
mothers. Yeah,
but fathers too. When a child is sick, oh my goodness, it is just so difficult because I have now, well, it wasn't so bad when my kids were young, but some people do. They have a real bad gag reflex.
I do. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
So and watching someone else be sick
Oh, yeah.
will make you sick. And so when my kids were younger, I wasn't as bad, but now I think when I have grandchildren, like little baby grandchildren, that's going to be difficult.
I'm sorry, you're waiting for grandchildren?
No,
Because you
I
already
mean
got one right
baby.
here.
I know,
Right.
but little one. Well, and
Yeah.
the way you were
Right.
acting, I guess we could put that in the category. I just wasn't there. If I hadn't been there, I would have been throwing up right beside
Oh,
you, I'm sure.
see, that's the thing. If I hear someone throwing up, I don't have to see it. If I just hear
Mhm.
it, oh
Me
my
too.
god, no. Yep,
Yeah. Yeah. So,
yep.
and I can remember, one time when my one daughter was really little, like a baby, like maybe 2 years old
Mhm.
or a year and a half, I don't know. Anyway, she was in the crib, and I heard something, and I thought, "Oh, that sounds weird." And I went in, and she had projectile vomited
Ew.
all over the crib, the bedding, herself. I picked her up. She's then all over me, all down
Oh,
on the floor, like, and I just was like, "Oh my god." Like, how much worse can this get? And this is the middle of the night. I have to go to
yeah.
work in the morning. I did not get paid if my children were sick and I was off because they were sick. So I had to go, and, I think I had to take her with me, and
What
she
a
was
fucking bitch. Just kidding.
well, it
Wow.
was back then, they yeah, like, now I think, people are far better off. We were talking about work-life balance, and that's one
Yeah,
thing we didn't bring in was mothers and fathers are much better off now. You have a
yeah,
lot better, understanding from your boss when
yeah.
things are going on, and back then, it was just, "You that's not our problem. Your children are not our problem.
Mhm.
That's your problem." But when you're a single mom, Like,
Right?
hello?
So, growing up, I went through a lot of sickness by myself because my mom still had to go to work. So, even
Yes.
though I would stay home from school, she would still have to go to work, and she would write down, like, take medicine at 11 and, like,
Right.
2, and
Right.
then I'll be home for dinner, but,
Right.
like, make soup for lunch and, so it was kinda like this. So,
And
I
that's
I'm
like
used
that
to.
I was thinking about the work-life balance and illness, and
Mhm.
and really they have a lot of work to do with that because more and more mothers are single moms,
Yep.
like caring for children. Sure, dad's taking them on weekends or whatever, but for the most part the mother is the main caregiver, or even if it is the father. But when there's illness with like you were one child, imagine if there was three,
Yeah.
four, and so you get one that gets the
One that's
flu,
sick.
right?
Oh.
And then a week later the next one, and then a week later the next one, and you're off a month with sick children and flus. So, yeah, that's got to be worked on a little bit, I think. Some type of even unemployment, like, the employment insurance.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
know, like something that helps out where you don't feel so bad not going in. But
But
yeah.
I think now though, because it's like, especially if your manager or your supervisor, whatever, is in a similar position or they have children as well, then it's like they totally get it, I find. Like it's just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and it
because
seemed
they
like, I don't know,
yeah.
did nobody have children when I was a young single mother with no help?
Well, I don't think women really had rights then. But just kidding. The
I guess
secretaries,
not. I don't
like,
know.
yeah.
I don't know what was going on.
Well, you
And
could
then I I
yeah.
I had such a work ethic ingrained in me too. That was the other thing, it'd be similar to your mom in the sense that I did not wanna take the time off because I
Yeah.
felt so bad. And so that was also something maybe that shouldn't be ingrained so much into a person. Maybe they don't need to make work their entire life and
Mhm.
so important that they're leaving their children at home taking their own medicines, you know?
Well, okay, so on Tuesday, after I was sick for an hour or whatever, I thought, am I going to be able to go into work? Because I have the same thing. I don't like to miss days of work. And the day I was sick was the day that we actually go in the office during the week.
Right.
So I was like, I love going in the office and I love seeing everyone. It's my favorite day of the week because I'm such a social butterfly. So I was like, I can do it. I can suck it up. But then the vomiting kept coming. I was like, okay, I really can't come in. And I
Yeah.
felt
Yeah.
really bad because I was like, oh, I had so much stuff to do today too. So writing that message. But my boss was so supportive. She's like, oh my gosh, like, you just let me know. I hope you feel better. Let me know if you need tomorrow off. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. And I say to everyone, having worked for a long time, just take the day off.
Yeah.
Don't don't sit there and worry about it. If you're that sick, seriously, just get better and don't go into work because nobody else wants that
Yeah.
from
No
you.
one wants to be sick. Yeah.
No, so just in case, like I'm saying, that probably was food poisoning. But what if it wasn't? If it was some type of COVID
Yeah.
bug, and you take that into the office and then you're sick in the bathroom, and it gets over all over or whatever, and then
Yeah.
somebody else is touching it, and then all of a sudden everyone's sick and nobody wants to go through that. So just live in your little horrible world for a day or two, get yourself
Yeah.
better, and then go back to work. I think that's important.
And let me tell you, the saltine crackers and that ginger ale, witchcraft, because I felt so much better after I
Really,
just had,
I'm just gonna say,
oh,
I've never had ginger ale where I didn't throw it back up. Like,
really?
when I was
Oh,
sick, yeah. Yeah, I don't even go for it anymore. I'd just be like, "Nope."
I was so lucky too. It was just that day because the next day I felt, I want to say like 85% better. Like I still had a
Yeah, yeah,
tongue.
so it's
Yeah.
definitely food poisoning for sure,
I
and you just got it all out.
Yeah, right? I still had, like, a stomach ache, but I was bearable, so, like, I could work, but
Yeah,
that day,
yeah,
oh my god, and now it's just, like, the pain from, the constricted
throwing up.
muscles and stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
well, sometimes when that happens, it feels like you've done a workout, and you have.
oh, yeah,
I know of,
100%.
again, in my work, just from reading reports and things, there have been people that have broken their ribs from just
Oh, my
vomiting.
stomach when I was
Mm,
it felt like it was just in my rib cage or
mhm,
whatever, like,
mhm. Yeah.
Uh, well, I think I told you and the girls that I felt like I had a train run on me by a whole bunch
Yeah.
of men because
Yeah.
both my holes were sore. Like
But not a happy sore.
not a happy sore, and there was nothing in me, so let me tell you, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it wasn't the thing you'd like to have when you have a day off and,
No, but I am 10 pounds lighter, so I did lose
Oh,
13 pounds, 3 pounds came back because 'cause I'm assuming that's
can
water
you
weight.
can you spit in an envelope and send it to me? I'm going to Mexico next week.
I thought to
Like,
myself, if I had this, food poisoning once a month, by the summertime, I'd be beach body ready, baby.
yes, exactly. You gotta send that to me.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
god.
So now I
I would
have
love that.
a little container in my fridge, so once a month, I just gotta take a little bite and then
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. That's what I would do. Sorry, I'm just gonna turn my phone down. It's making
It's
all
okay.
kinds of noises. Yeah, so is that the worst you've ever had, do you feel
That's
like?
the
Or is that
worst
just
thing.
recently the worst?
No,
When
I
you were
would
a
say
kid.
no, in my life, like, because all the things I experienced, so it was the vomiting, diarrhea, but then it was also, my whole body ached, I was
Oh,
dizzy, I had to sit down, I was choking on my vomit,
oh,
it felt like I was gonna pass out at the tub, and then
oh,
this, like, my shoulders, it feels like I've been carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders right now.
oh,
I know,
oh.
which I technically do every day of my life, but
Mhm,
this
mhm.
certain day, it was extra heavy, and, um, I was just in bed, but it was, like, between the bed and then going back to the bathroom every, like, 15 minutes, because that's it was, you
I
know?
have had food poisoning before. One time,
Yeah.
that stands out that sounds very similar to that, and I ate a, roast beef, and I'm not gonna say where it came from or anything like that, but, both it was me and another person had it, and the next day, it was or that morning, similar,
Mhm.
4:30 in the morning, it was an all-day process and almost identical symptoms, except I slept. I couldn't seem to
Oh.
wake up. The only time I woke up was to expel
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I just slept, and I've never slept like that before in my life. It was crazy. Yeah,
Really? See, no, I
yeah.
didn't even have a good sleep the night of, like, recovery either, like, I didn't sleep well, I was so uncomfortable,
I
like, I
was
was
almost,
feeling
like,
better,
out of
but
it. Like, I
oh
was
my god.
almost, I don't even know, it was so weird because that's what I remember most was this like, it was like I was out of it, and I just get up long enough to do that if there were a couple of times where I didn't even make
Mhm.
it, and it was just like, "Ugh, I can't," and just right back to bed.
Okay, so when you asked me, "Is this the worst I've ever had?" The only thing that might come close is when I had mono, because mono, I had no energy, that lasted a month and a half.
Mhm.
Um, that was the worst thing ever. I got it from kissing a girl. Oh my god. I was like, "Are you fucking
You're
kidding
never
me?"
you're like, "That's when you turn gay."
Oh, no.
I'm
No, it was
never doing that again.
it was first year of university, we were all
Oh.
drinking, and then, it's just I don't give a fuck. Someone was like, they dared us to kiss, so we kissed, and that's how I got mono. And I
No.
was just like, holy fuck. She's like, damn it, I didn't have mono. Like, I couldn't have given it to you. I said, you're the only person I've kissed for like a month. Like, so don't give me that bullshit. And oh my God, I had no energy whatsoever. And I felt like I was gonna die for the first 3 weeks. I was just like, this is it. Because my breathing with my asthma was
Mhm.
so bad
Mhm.
too.
Mhm.
And the doctor said they can't give you anything for that. The body will just get rid of it itself.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Mhm.
are you fucking kidding me? Hook me up to
Yeah.
something.
I
Like,
had
just give
something
me.
similar when I think I was about, oh, 14. Um, and I don't know if it was mono or if they said it was strep throat, but a very
Okay, yeah.
like I spent I what feels like maybe it probably being dramatic, but I felt like the entire summer in bed.
Well,
And I
no,
can
I believe
remember
you.
people coming to visit me, and then they'd be gone. I just fall asleep and wake up, like, I was waking up, falling asleep, waking up, didn't know what was going on, and yeah, that went on for a long, long time. I remember the
Yeah.
whole summer people were doing stuff, and they'd call, and I'd be like, "No, I just can't." And it wasn't even that my mother wouldn't let me or that I could
No.
like, it wasn't a
Yeah.
lot. I just could not get out of bed to even be bothered. Like, I remember just being just whipped, and, they finally did put me on some antibiotics, some pretty heavy duty, and that seemed to kick it, I remember. So I don't know if it was maybe mono and
Mm.
strep strep throat, or maybe I got strep after I got it, or I don't know, but what a horrible summer.
Well,
Horrible.
if I was a doctor, like, let's use the placebo effect here. Pop a little vitamin D pills in a bottle and be like, "Oh yeah, this should go away in a
This'll
week."
cure it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this will cure it. That's You'll be better in a week or two, and just see how it goes. I'll be like, "Come back in the office. I just want to see how you're doing."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just because there's been great results with the placebo effect. Fuck,
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah,
I
there
wish
is.
things
There
like
is
that.
all kinds of evidence to support that, and quite often, like, I'll do it my own self, when I'm like, really trying to lose weight. I will buy I will buy those, over the counter, at Walmart, weight loss pills, and
Wait,
somehow
and you're
in
like,
my
"These are
mind,
working."
yeah, it's
Yeah,
working. It's not
you're like,
really what it is that
"Whoa."
I'm cut down eating, and I'm
Yeah.
exercising, but in my mind, I'm giving it all. I'm, saying, "This is it, these pills. Go and buy these. They work like a charm."
You know those shopping channel commercials or
Yeah.
whatever where that's all they play, and then you like call now to get a 50% discount or something. That's what the weight loss
Thank God
pills.
I don't
I
watch
was like,
that. I know a
right?
girl that was $80,000 in debt to Shopping Channel. Yeah, $80,000.
I was thinking, like, how did they get away with that? Like, how would people actually buy stuff off that? Apparently they do.
Yeah, $80,000 worth, and she just got credit card after credit card, and it was all like she said, almost all of it is Shopping Channel. $80,000. I was like, I want us to go to her house, but I actually worked with her for she was crazy, and she wound up getting fired because
Oh,
she was
well,
crazy. And, so I never got a chance to go to her house because I really wanted to see what was in there for all the Shopping Channel stuff.
right?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
The one thing I remember, like, the infomercial was we got it for you for Christmas one year, the slap chop. Oh my god, that was the craze. 1 slap,
Yeah,
dice. 2 slaps, oh, now you got tuna for salad.
yeah.
Like,
I think I used it one time and went,
yeah,
"Oh my god, I can cut this up faster than I can put it." You had to put all the pieces together.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah. I remember I was like, "Oh, thanks, guys.
yeah, right?
Yay.
It was
I
like
can't wait to use it."
you chop, like, green onion, you add the
Yeah.
ham and the egg, and then it's like, "Oh, now you got salad."
Oh my god. Yeah,
Whew.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So the other times, well, I guess it wasn't an illness; it was an infection. I got when I had 13 teeth removed in
Oof.
grade 11, 9 babies, 4 wisdom. 2 weeks later, I got an infection in one of my gums, and
Mm,
that really hurt too. Like having teeth
mhm,
removed. Well, that was a procedure, so it wasn't really an illness. But that
mhm,
infection in the gums,
mhm.
oof, and this whole like if someone hit me, I would have died. Like if someone just punched me right in the side of the face, like
Yeah,
it would have been out. Like I
yeah.
just felt so
I've
numb.
had some
Ugh,
toothaches that, yeah, that's crazy, like, it hurts so bad.
yeah.
And I remember the one toothache, that was when we just moved to Haleybury, and it
Okay.
was just me and Maya there, and I let her outside, and of course, off she went. Doing the pulling the Maya, and I'm calling her and and I like you, if somebody would have punched me, I probably would have died on the spot. I
Yeah.
had such a toothache. And anyway, it turned out it was hours looking for Maya. She was over at the college. Like,
Love that.
we lived at one end of town. And we just went and moved there. Like, she'd never been there, and she was at the college all the way across town. One of Silver's, my daughter's friends, found her. He had to do like a football dive. It was raining, it was muddy, it was fall, and I that day I coulda strangled her myself just because of the
Yeah.
toothache. Yeah. Yeah, like, I
Oh,
was capable of murder. Mhm.
okay, so another thing with illness, it's the pain level. It makes you do different things to your head. Like,
Mhm.
there's things I'm like, "Don't fucking talk to me." Like, the
Mhm.
irritability level that you experience when you're going through
Mhm.
sickness or pain, it's on another level.
Yes.
Like
Yes. Yes, that is true, and people really, they don't sort of stop and go, "Geez, maybe that person's not really feeling good. Maybe I shouldn't, bug them," or
Yeah.
because you can get a little bit emotional too, especially if you don't get
Oh,
enough
yeah.
sleep and you're really feeling crappy. And like I said, you're down there and if you're by yourself, um,
Yeah.
that can make you really feel lonely and sad and upset. And then all it takes is one person to be a smart aleck or
Yeah.
and like one of us probably did, and it really can upset a person a lot because you don't feel good. Like, be
Oh,
nice, people.
so when I was going through exactly what you described when I
Oh,
called one of my aunts and she didn't answer the phone, and I texted her and I said, "I really need you right now." This is the moment when it counts.
and did she call you back?
She did call me back and
Oh,
she's like,
good.
"Oh, I'm sorry, just hang on 1 second." I laughed so hard though. So the one thing I didn't lose was my sense of humor. That's one thing I keep no matter
Yeah,
what.
that's kind of hard to find, isn't it, when you're not feeling good? Yeah.
Yeah. I laughed so hard when I reread those text messages out loud. I was like, I really need you right now.
Well,
Oh my
now,
god.
like, that goes to show you, and that's a day or a couple of days. You can imagine someone who is really ill, like with cancer or
Oh yeah.
something like that. And we should all keep that in mind if we have someone in our lives that's dealing with that, because you can imagine feeling like that day after day. Well, like you
Yeah.
said, for a month and a half with mono. Well,
Yeah.
make that into 6 months or a year, and wow, that can really, really, really get a person down.
Oh,
So,
especially like going through chemo and stuff too.
mhm, mhm.
Oh yeah, because and then like hair loss and everything. And
Yes,
yeah,
yes. And but
so well, wigs are an
I'm just
option.
saying, if that happens, get in touch with me because I would find the best wigs for you. I
You
just
know
love it.
what? We should start our own little cancer rehabilitation, what she should wear thing. Because I'll do the baseball caps and then you do the wigs.
Right,
Like
right.
the
Mhm. Yeah,
I'll do for the
it's
men's
okay.
side, you do for the women.
I
Like,
even got like I these are my this is my hair, but I
yeah.
even got a couple of little clips that look like this, that you can actually put in your hair, like put in a
Oh
wig
wow.
that is still fake and does the little
Yeah.
curly cues. Oh, there's everything out there. You wouldn't believe it. It's
I want to see
fantastic.
you with a lace front wig and get the edges down like a
I
full
have one of those, yeah,
full
yeah.
fantasy.
Yes, I
Can,
gotta get into that.
can we get you in Dolly Parton hair with some volume like like the
Yeah, I
wah.
would like to do that. I would like to do that.
I wanna see you
Yeah.
as a blonde too. I want a blonde, platinum blonde
I do
styled
have
wig.
one here that I keep thinking I'm gonna do it, and then I haven't done it, but I will do it. It's
Okay.
blonde, and it's got, like, tips. It's got, like, brown tips on it, but it's quite blonde.
Okay,
I'm
so in
gonna do it.
4 weeks' time, because we're
Oh,
recording
speaking of
3
that,
episodes.
speaking about illness and hair,
Yeah. Rapunzel? I don't know. What? Just kidding.
one time so, when all this happened to this side of my face, what happened was it was my ear, and
Oh, right.
I had really bad ear infections when it started when I was 16. I always say it's because of Pink Floyd. Have you ever heard of the band Pink Floyd? Well, I
Yeah.
went to see them in concert, like,
Pink
in
Floyd,
Toronto.
the bleach cleaner? Or I'm just kidding. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And, back then, like, it was a wall of speakers, right? When you went to the
Oh, yeah.
concert, it was massive wall of speakers, and we were very close to the stage. But anyway, I always blame it on that because that makes it more interesting than just happening. I'm sure it's not anything to do with that, but so I started having these ear infections, and what would happen was every, I don't know, 6 months to 9 months, my eardrum would blow out, and that was an excruciating thing in itself, and it would happen, like, within a night, and then I'd be deaf for 5 days, and then it would heal up, and it would do it again. So they started looking in there
Mhm.
and realized, well, they didn't realize until they opened it up, but there was something really going on in there. So back then, what they did was an operation called a mastoidectomy. And I was told, you just come in, they just go through the ear and they clean it out and they close it off and that's it. And so I woke up. I woke up and I'm telling you, there was a child crying. I guess he'd had his tonsils out. And just like you said, I had no zero sense of humor also when I'm under anesthetic because I told the
Oh,
kid, shut the fuck up, which is just
well,
terrible. That's
anesthetic's the
terrible.
different level. No, anesthetic, you have 0 filter.
Yeah.
You have 0
No,
filter. Yeah.
and not pleasant. I wasn't being a pleasant human being at all. But it turned out that they had cut my facial nerve. They had actually removed my ear, like flopped it backwards, sliced my facial nerve, um, poked holes in my eustachian tube, which is your equilibrium. So
Mhm.
then what I was doing this, and like my eyes were
Spinning.
doing
Oh,
spinning,
yeah.
and I felt like I was on some type of ride, and so every time I opened my eyes, I would throw up because the
Oh
room
my
was
god.
spinning and whatever. But I had, and then I had this bandage around my head, and I was a smoker back then, and it's incredible how the smoker has to have a cigarette. So,
Yeah.
of course, they told me, "Don't go anywhere, don't do anything, don't move, don't do anything," and I'm like, and my friend came, and I said, I have to have a cigarette." So she gets me up, and we get out in the hallway, and the nurse says, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going to have a cigarette." And she said, "Looking like that?" And I went, I hadn't looked because nobody would let me look in the mirror. I hadn't looked in the
Oh
mirror.
my god.
And I went, "Well, what do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, I," and she was just a bitch. She was an old bitch nurse. And she goes, "Well, I just recommend you get back in bed and you better have a look at yourself before you and stay." My friend, she was like, "Oh my God, how rude is that?" Because she thought she was talking about this. Anyway, anyway, it all turned out I threw up anyway. I couldn't smoke a cigarette and threw up all over the place and went back to my room, and I finally somebody brought me a mirror. Well, she wasn't talking about my face. When they did the whole procedure, they shaved the side of my head.
Oh
But
my
when they wrapped the bandage, they left all the hair. So the hair was like sticking out of the bandage every which way you've ever seen. Like, and then I grabbed a piece of it and I'm like looking at my like this big chunk of hair and I'm like, oh my God, my hair's falling out. How did that happen? So that's my little story about hair and illness. Yeah, they shaved half my head off.
oh my see, I always thought okay, first of all, the story was crazy. I always
Mhm.
thought you got a bee or a hornet in your ear. I don't know why. I thought that was the tale. I've been
No.
lying to people.
Oh, I have
Uh,
had bugs in there, if that's what I have
oh,
had bugs fly in
oh,
there because after that, what they did, because they have to go in, yeah, that's probably what you heard. It's
oh, okay.
because they have to go in with tools
Mhm.
to clean my ear out now. It doesn't clean itself like how we have wax comes
Yeah.
out of your ears. Well, this one doesn't do that. So it all, and I have a very large cavity back there. So it all kind of gathers in that cavity. So they have to go in with a microscope and these small tools to cut all that out and pull it all
Oh.
out. Remember I sent you a picture of that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Mhm.
So, um what happened was they had to increase the width of my ear, like my ear canal. So they actually made it like larger. And with that, one time I was outside cutting the lawn and a bug flew right in my ear, right in it. And
Oh,
I could hear it in there. So then it's back in that cavity, and I could hear it
Oh my
zzz,
god.
zzz, zzz, for like 2 days.
How did you not shoot yourself? Like, honestly? I would have
Oh,
grabbed a knife and just like
I know. I had ear cleaners and everything
Yeah.
in there. I just couldn't get it out. I never even thought I should have just dumped some peroxide, like drown
Oh,
it or
yeah.
something, but I would not allowed to get it wet or anything either. So
Oh.
it's all a whole thing. But yeah.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
Oh, and when you mentioned the anesthetic, that reminded me of when I got my teeth pulled out. My aunt was with me, and I just remember waking up and they go, "Oh, hi, Damon, like you're back," like the dentist and stuff. And my aunt comes in the room. The first thing she says, she goes, "Damon, I texted with Grandpa, and he says that he's so proud of you." And the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, "Tell him to go fuck himself."
I know. I'm so cranky when I'm on it, but I think that's almost everyone because now I've seen other people
Yeah.
and been there when they've come out of it, and wow, I'm like, holy man, like
Well,
something goes on
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Well, some people flirt with, like, whoever the staff member is or whatever,
Oh yeah.
and, I've seen videos like that, like, really funny ones, or parents videotape their children when they're in the car, but not me. First of all, we didn't have a car, we had to take a taxi. So the one on the way back was a taxi van. They pulled up to the side of the building. It probably looked like I was getting kidnapped because I was struggling to get in that van. Like, they
Oh.
were trying to push me in that van.
Mhm.
Like, chipmunk cheeks, full procedure, like, done on the face, right? Oh my god, it was so, and they were like, "Get him in the van." It felt so rushed, like we were leaving a robbery. That's what it felt like, actually. It was, "Get him in and go. Get him in and go." Oh, yeah, that was
Well,
crazy.
I find too, and if you are ill like that, and ask for help because there was at one point after the surgery, I was sent to London to have it repaired. And so I was still sort of spinning, like, well, I was spinning. It was just a constant for a week
Mhm.
until they got that fixed. And so they they said to me, "You have to go have a CT scan, but our CT scan is broken, so we need to send you to another hospital. Can Are you all right to take a taxi?" They said, and I. I that was when I had a complete and utter meltdown. Like, I've never melted down in front of strangers like that in my life. But at that point, when they had me in a wheelchair with my chart on my lap, and I'm spinning and spinning and spinning, and they're wanting me to get in a taxi with a
Taxi.
taxi driver, like, not a healthcare
No.
person. And I was just like, I just started bawling. I just like, I can't do this. I can't do any more of this. I'm not doing any more. And then the nurse was like, "Oh my," I think she realized right away, and she was great. And she was like, "Oh my God. You know what? Okay. Where you got to rethink this." So they got an ambulance and everything, but
Oh,
ask
good.
for help. And say, like, don't be afraid to say, because that's always been my problem is I don't say anything until it gets to a
Yeah.
point, but you need to be able to say, "I can't do this," or "I need help," before it melts down to something like that.
Well, I mean, I asked my grandmother when I should go to the emergency room, and I got made fun of, so I don't know.
Well, I didn't mean to, and I actually should apologize because
It's okay.
I was really busy, and when I was reading your text, I wasn't getting the full, like your mother kind of,
Yeah.
I wasn't really, I was thinking, "Oh, he's being dramatic, stop." And then later when you called and I talked to you on
Oh,
the phone, I was like, "Oh, geez, I
yeah.
should have maybe called you earlier than that." But anyway.
My my groaning, like, just, like, my body was so sore, and my aunt was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Nothing.
Nothing,
I'm
I can't
breathing."
do anything. Can't move.
I can't.
Well, I will tell you, you do take
Oh,
after your grandpa when you're sick,
yeah,
'cause
I know.
there's another one that's like what do they call that? The 200-pound man
Baby?
baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
that needs a lot of care
That
when he's sick. Yeah.
Well, I think that was a good thing on illness right
Yeah, well,
there.
just remember everyone to be kind, and if somebody's sick, try and give them a call and,
Yeah.
you know.
Or not. Maybe they wanna be left alone.
Yeah, or maybe or if they answer the phone, they're like, "Leave me
What?
alone."
Yeah.
Don't be angry with them. Give them a little bit of, grace.
Just kidding. Thanks everyone for tuning in and, stay healthy.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.